first and foremost, good morning and welcome to Omaha, Nebraska in the 2024 Men's College World Series. We're joined here on the dais by North Carolina head coach and 3 players, and we'll ask Coach Forbes please to open up with a well, first I got to go through all this. I apologize. Courtesy, please, and members, please silence your cell phones. And when you ask the questions, please provide your name and your association. Recording the press conference on video on your cell phones is prohibited, and if you're on Zoom, please wait to raise your hand function for questions. We'll address the questions in the room first and take questions from the Zoom as time permits. We'll go back to what I was saying before. Coach Forbes, give us an opening statement, and congratulations for being here.
Thank you. Hello to everybody. Really, number one, just want to thank Omaha and everybody that puts this thing on. It's a special event. It's run so well. Our guys are already experiencing things that they're never going to forget. So on behalf of the University of North Carolina and our program, we just thank everybody for that. We're excited to be out here. Our guys have worked really hard to get to this point. We got out here. We've had a really good, 2 practices. The guys fought hard to get through that regional and get through that super regional. They were both tough. They earned it, and I'm looking forward to watching them get after it tomorrow night.
Thank you. We're going to we'll ask if you would ask the questions to the players first. And the first question, raise your hand, and we have 2 mic handlers that will come to you. If you could please wait till the mic handler gets there. First question right here.
Mark Garland, College Baseball Central. Guys, you got through the first couple practices here now. Lots of media, lots of lights. How do you guys stay loose and get ready to play that first game?
Jason, can you start? Just we'll go straight down.
I think just realizing that it's a privilege that we get to be here and experience all this. This is a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Never going to forget this, so just kind of taking it all in and kind of just enjoying it.
Yeah, I'd say for me, just, super fortunate, super grateful to be here. Really going to enjoy all this, all the media and all the events. I'm really looking forward to it, but also knowing that, we're here to play baseball and we're here to win a national championship. So I think, it's really, really cool to step out on that field, and it's a beautiful stadium, but, at the end of the day that we want to come home with the trophy. So just kind of staying focused on that goal.
Yeah, just kind of second, these 2, soak everything in, soak all the, experiences in, and then, just tomorrow, just get right back to it, wake up and get in your routine and just get ready to go play ball.
Question right here, Frank.
Michael Code, WCHL and chapelboro.com. Vance, I'm doing a story about the role of analytics in baseball, and I actually talked to some guys from Rapsodo who I know that you've worked with in the past. Just how have they helped you just grow and become the player that you've become this season?
Yeah, I think, analytics are great, but just kind of limiting, what you're looking at. I don't think everything is, good to look at all the time. So just kind of realizing, those things that work for you, and, just being able to hone in on those and then use those to help you succeed on the field.
Question for the players? Right back here.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Jason, this class that UNC brought in, a lot of them contributed early. What do you think led to the success of having so many people that are freshmen contributing?
I think the great leadership that we have from the older guys played a huge role. Whether it's on the field or off the field, they're always there to give you advice or help you out if you need it. And I think that's been really big from day one, just kind of having them by your side. And if you have any questions, you can ask them. So that's been huge.
Any other questions for the players right here?
Brady Oldman's helping out at Raleigh. Parks, you guys are familiar with some of these teams, and you've even had a big showing before. What goes into thinking what kind of team you're going to be facing and what the opposition is going to look like after, I guess a couple of months of maybe seeing some of these familiar faces?
Yeah, I think baseball is an interesting game where you want to prepare for the opponent, but I think it also comes down to your own team too. I think if your own team handles business, then it really doesn't matter that much about the opponent if you can do things the right way on your side of the dugout. But I think with that being said, I think both teams have grown a lot the last couple months. Both teams have definitely improved, but I feel like we're playing really, really good baseball right now. So just kind of excited to get out there.
Ari up on Tar Heel Tribune. For Parks and Vance, your college career will end here, does that give you a little bit more sense of urgency knowing that this is your last shot at a title?
No, I think for me, just really excited and really grateful for 4 years of hard work, and I get to finish here. So I think I'm just super fortunate, to play my last game of college baseball in Omaha. But I think this opportunity is really special. So I don't want to put any extra pressure on myself. I just kind of want to go out there and do the things we've done all season, knowing that I really, really want to finish my career, with a national title.
Yeah, I don't think, it changes, day to day. It's the same game, just on a bigger stage. So I think just being able to really, soak it in, but also, understand, the real reason why you're here. And just really have fun with it. And honestly, just soak in this moment with these guys.
Follow up to Vance, with the big diamond that you have out there with so much territory, is that an advantage for guys like with you and Anthony who can cover so much ground?
Yeah, I think so. A lot of balls that were hit at the box this year that kind of just barely snuck out. I think Knopf just kind of ran out of room and sometimes. So, being able to have a bigger park, just with a lot more room, it'll honestly just give us more chance to just roam.
Do we have any more questions for the student athletes? Gentlemen, congrats. You're more than welcome to leave the dais and go back to the clubhouse. And we'll open questions for Coach Forbes. Best of luck.
See you in a second.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the record, Vance is only a junior.
We'll start with the first question. Coach Forbes right here.
Coach, with half of this College World Series field being made up of ACC teams, is there a sense of conference pride, league pride that you have in seeing this great representation of your league that you have been saying since the beginning of the year is one of the best in the country?
Yeah, absolutely. We don't back down from that. We feel like the ACC has continued to improve. I felt like this year, out of all my years being involved in the ACC, and I've been involved in them, a while now, top to bottom, it was the best. If you didn't play well, you would lose. I think some really good ACC teams didn't even make the NCAA tournament. So it's a testament to our league, testament to how hard the coaches are working to get great players, and then those players obviously are doing it on the field.
Coach, obviously it's easy to talk about Vance and Parks and the guys that have been around college baseball forever. Talk about the impact of this freshman class and what made it kind of the secret sauce for this team's success.
Yeah, Coach Gaines, Coach Wiersbicki, and Coach Howell, I've been in their shoes, and I know how many hours you're behind the wheel of a car. And matter of fact, this morning we were joking. We felt like we were in the olden days. Well, not the olden days. I guess is what you do now. You start games at 9 o'clock or 8 o'clock at Lake Point, and we call it Bake Point. But they just did a great job putting that class together. And when we got them here for summer school, and that's something that we've been able to do at North Carolina, which has been really valuable. They take 2 classes. I get to be around them a lot. And now the draft is later, so the guys can really start seeing, okay, if they do end up signing professionally, what they might potentially miss. And it was a close-knit group. We had some older guys back, Jake Knapp being one of those, Vance doing his rehab that spent a lot of time around that class, so they helped them mature pretty quick. But as soon as we started up in the fall, it was clear, okay, this is an extremely talented class. We felt like we needed way more depth, especially on the mound, and we felt like we had hoped that this class could address that. So, with what we had returning, we felt like if some, 2 of these or 3 of the position players, including the transfer portal guys, can make an impact, and some of these arms can make an impact, we had a chance to have a special team.
What's your pitching approach, knowing that if you make it to Tuesday, you're getting a day off every day? Does Aiden get used in the bullpen? What's your plan?
Oh yeah. The plan is to go after Virginia and go after that game. That is the plus of being out here and running a pitching staff and having those conversations. At the end of the day, you get, we don't play during the season unless it's midweek, but we play those big weekend series in our league. You don't get a day. So every one of our relievers, they're all horses. They all can handle a big workload. They've all been managed well all season. So we will move Aiden back into that bullpen to start for sure. He'll be available, ready to rock and roll against Virginia. And then, we'll try to beat Virginia, and then we'll announce a starter after that. Most likely it'll be Sprague.
And like I was asking them about the bigger field, and because, with D'Onofrio and Honeycutt covering so much ground, do you feel like that's a big advantage for your team?
Absolutely. I feel like they've been an advantage all season. That is one thing that's different in the game now that I've noticed is pitchers are throwing harder. They're trying to pitch at the top of the zone more, getting more fly ball outs than ever in college baseball. And we put a big emphasis on that, obviously having a generational center fielder like Vance Honeycutt, but also putting two other guys out there where you don't give a team extra outs. And as a matter of fact, we've stolen a lot of outs. So you have an outfield like this, and you can prevent triples also, because you can hit some triples in this park, is going to be big for anybody.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Coach, Vance has grown so much over this year. What has he meant to this program, and how have you kind of seen him mature as the year's gone on?
I mean, he's, again, maybe I will, but I've never coached a combination of power and speed. But the kid's never taken a day off. I've never said a word negative to the kid. I've never had to say, hey, keep your head up, or if he's 0 for 4 or 4 Ks, which has happened to him, you can't tell. And he's an unbelievable leader off the field. He's done an unbelievable job in the classroom. I don't like to use the word perfect because nobody's perfect, but he's been an absolute pleasure to coach, and there's a reason we've had the success we've had, and there's a reason that this team made it to Omaha. Obviously stepped up and played great for us, but when he wasn't, quote, hitting the home runs or getting the big hit, he was doing so much more for us, obviously playing an unbelievable center field. But he's a lead by example guy, and that's really helped these young guys, and that gets passed down. Look at these guys that are here today that played in our program. When you have that leadership in your locker room like that, it affects you years down the road, and that's what Vance Honeycutt, he'll leave more than what you guys see on the field. He'll leave a much bigger legacy than that for sure.
Avery Howard, Heard Out Sports. The other day I heard some of the players share that after every email you say you love them, and so many of them have talked about why that's such a special part of this team. Just at the foundation of this program, the team, why is this team so close-knit, and why has that love been a part of why this team's here?
I don't think we say it enough, and the older I've gotten, I just felt like I think it's important, and I think it's the most powerful word in the world. It's the most powerful thing in the universe. Love conquers all. It overcomes everything. And we don't have enough of it in general, and I want these kids, I sat down with our coaching staff this year before we started the fall. I said, I want Boshemer Stadium to be the place that they love the most. I want it to be the best part of their day. And the only way that can happen is if we lead by example every single day. Yeah, we're going to be competitive. We're going to coach them. We're going to be honest with them. There is tough love. But when you feel that as a player, I was a player, you know how much a person cares about you, and because they talk to you. And that's the key to coaching, in my opinion, getting to know every player individually, because if you don't know what buttons to press with that player. But I also wanted them to know, this tough macho, you can love people and still be extremely tough. And matter of fact, I think you're going to be tougher. So I hope that will continue to be the backbone, and hopefully those guys will will understand that when they're older and more important things than just baseball.
Coach, is there going to be a moment before tomorrow's game where you take the players aside and sort of like Gene Hackman and Hoosiers, you just say, hey, the baselines are still 90 feet, pitching mound's still 60 feet, 6 inches, just to make sure they don't get overwhelmed by the stage, basically?
No, not with this group. I think from the first pitch of this season, this group has played like they've had something to prove. These kids, they pay attention. We weren't ranked as high as all these other ACC teams. We felt like we had a really, really good team, and we feel like the University of North Carolina baseball program has been as good as any program in the country, and we're proud of that tradition. And we also wanted to make all these players that laid the groundwork proud as well. So the only thing I've told them is, okay, this is why you came to North Carolina. So I told them before we played LSU. So I told them before we played West Virginia. That's the only thing I'll say. You came to North Carolina because you wanted to play in the College World Series. So the last thing you want to do is look back and say, you know, you didn't slow the game down. You didn't stay with your routine. We have a saying, default aggressive. So if you're going to make a mistake, it needs to be being overly aggressive and just go out there and try to go get it.
How will tomorrow's game be different than that series in Charlottesville? There were a lot of home runs hit. Obviously, D'Onofrio's would have been out here too. But how is that going to be different? They get a lot of extra base hits within the ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, both teams are much different, especially on the mound. So both coaches, you know, Brian's a heck of a coach. Both coaching staffs are going to manage their pitching staffs different. I think both the pitchers, if a pitcher's going, you know, it doesn't matter how good the offense is sometimes. But that being said, both these offenses are really good. They're both very dynamic. You know, I hope they don't hit a lot of home runs tomorrow. Hopefully we'll hit some. But, you know, I think both teams are way different. I know we are. So I'm looking forward to playing Virginia because we also have a lot of respect for them. They do it the right way, and it'll be a battle, that's for sure. Two really, really good teams.
Scott, you mentioned, you know, the moment being big and keeping them in their routine. So this might be an oddball question, but what goes into picking out the uniforms and any special, you know, spiritual things, superstitions that go into it?
No, a lot of times I just get with the leaders. When we named captains for the first time since I've been at North Carolina. So I talked to them, and then Vance has been included in a lot of those because he's, you know, almost a captain. He basically is. And I'd say, you know, what do y'all want to wear? We're the home team, so we're going to wear white. And we got all new uniforms this year. And, you know, again, this team is extremely process-oriented. You know, we're going to do the same thing we've been doing. Game one, we're the home team. We're going to wear our white pennies, and we'll go from there depending on whether or not we're a visitor, and we'll wear whatever we've been wearing as a visitor. So nothing too much going into it. We did eliminate one uniform, though, that we were having struggle. You won't see us wear the white pinstripe pants with the Carolina blue top. We're not wearing that one. We hadn't had much success in that one. So,
question back there.
Jake McKeever, College Baseball Central. Coach, with the way the portal opening up, what are the challenges that you create when you're still playing to also look ahead to next year?
Man, I could answer that question. It'd take me back an hour to talk about the transfer portal. You know, number one, we all have to figure out how to get the transfer portal not to open until the College World Series is done. But it is what it is. You embrace it. It's just like NIL. You can complain about it all you want, but it's part of the game. And the way I look at it is you figure out a way to make your program better and maybe help your guys. So with the transfer portal, you know, we're on it every single day. We're checking it. We have our own system of the type of kid that we're looking for. We know what our needs are. You know, so we've already got a couple commitments off the transfer portal. I'll be on the phone today. Actually have a Zoom set up later with a kid that we really, really want and try to. I mean, there's no better time, though, to recruit than when you're in Omaha. So we use that to our advantage and try to put together a team that we can get back here with.
Do we have any other questions? Two more right here.
Coach, two-part question. One, did Vince Carter take you up on your offer to sit in your box in the Supers at West Virginia? And two, have you heard from any, you know, UNC celebrities, quote unquote, leading up to tomorrow's game?
I don't think Vince made it. I don't think. I know there are a lot of basketball had their own suite, I believe. So I don't know who all was in that suite. I didn't look up a ton. That game was too close to look up there. I don't know about celebrities. That's a great question. And if I knew they were coming, I couldn't tell you anyway.
Last question right here.
Dovetailing the question about transfer portal, you look at the prospect of 6 of your 8 regulars, losing 6 of your 8 regulars. So how important will that be to keep it going next year? And then also, with possibly 6 of those guys playing their last games for Carolina, how emotional is that for them and for you?
I mean, anytime anybody in our program, it's their last game, it's not just starters, it's going to be emotional. And I told you last time, why do you have to remind me we're losing so many of those guys? But that's where the transfer portal can help you. But we also still believe in, when you look at Gavin Gallagher and you look at Luke Stevenson, even a guy like Olin Johnson who had some valuable starts, or a lot of other guys that I feel like, Matty Mathias, he was okay last year, but he's gotten a lot better. Dalton Pence has gotten a lot better. And that's one thing that I'm really proud of at North Carolina is it's not our development. The players develop themselves through hard work, but we do feel like we can still get great high school players. They can stay in our program. And you're just not going to see, while I'm here, we're not going to probably have 20 players off the transfer portal. I don't think that's the recipe for our success, is combining those two. And even the transfers that come in, like a Madera from a Division III, getting better from the time he gets there until now. So that's what's so important. And we do have one celebrity here. Dustin Ackley's here. Yeah. He's a walking base hit, just so you know.
Well, Coach, thank you very much. We wish you best of luck and good luck.
Thank you.
Hanman Communications.
Have him touch all of our guys.